Wow, look, you can. It's amazing how tiny that ship is compared to spawn ship. It felt like the spawn ship was tiny. Look at that. Now it looks huge. Okay, well the next ship that we're going to build is going to be a mining ship, and it's going to dwarf spawn ship. It's going to be massive. It's going to be so large that what we'll have to do is we'll start building it on the edge of the platform. We'll just get a foot, some of the essentials. So we need a foot, a reactor, we need a thruster in each direction, and we need a cockpit, and we'll need all of that on a platform. So we'll get those things together, and then because that makes it a self-sustaining flying object, we can then maneuver it to somewhere where it's easier for us to build. We might take it to the outside and build it on the outside. Very good. Yeah, pleased with that little welding ship, especially after derping around yesterday having difficulties getting it working. Right, let's put some things into production so that while I'm messing around getting the first things going, we'll have our components ready. We want a new large ship, and as you can see, a large ship is very large. About there. This foot won't stay. We won't use it for very long. It's just while we get started. Okay, and gotta think, what colour do we want this one? I'm tempted to make it a white ship. I don't think I've ever built a white ship before. So to get us going, we just want to build something, build a little flying platform. I'll make it a 3x3. And with a nose on it, because the thrusters can be quite damaging in a ship of this size. So we'll keep the thrusters away from everything else. It needs to be at least 4 blocks away. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks clearance there. That'll do us. And this is just enough to get us started. Okay. Well, I can handle welding this one by hand. Let's have a look at what a white ship would look like. So this is, yeah, I think that'll look fine. This is going to be a ship with an outside and an inside. Be large enough that we'll need a door on it. I'm no fan of doors. I've talked about this before. They're so hard to get into and out of that I don't use them unless I really have to. Because we're going to be tunnelling with this, we'll start on one side of the asteroid and we'll just drill straight through to the other side of the asteroid, and we'll it's a bit of a planet eater in that sense. What we don't want is to end up with a ship full of rocks, so we will need a door. I really enjoy driving these big tunnelling drilling ships. They're I like the way the game handles it. You kind of get, once you're wholly inside the rock, it gives you a sort of X-ray view of the asteroid. Okay, that's enough to get us started. Just go and get some energy. The inside of the big driller ship, which, let's see, with our naming convention being to name ships and platforms after people who have inspired me to play games and to make stuff, I think I'm gonna call my drilling ship the Merry, after the Merry Gamer. The Merry Gamer's another Let's Player. I watch him play Minecraft games quite a lot, and he's a fantastic builder. He really is. He's an Australian guy who, small channel, just Let's Plays Minecraft in his spare time. He's studying mechanical engineering at university, which is the same course as I took. And yeah, I really enjoy watching his videos. So we'll call this the Merry. Let's see, we're going to want some small thrusters, a flight seat, a gyroscope. Let's make sure we're on large blocks, and a small reactor and a connector. And if we can get those things built, then we'll be able to maneuver this ship out into a space where we can build it properly. So let's get, first of all, we put the thrusters way out of the way where they're not going to do any harm. So we'll put the thrusters up here. I can get 5 degrees of freedom in this direction. In fact, if I turn that thruster around, not that way. But that way. If it damages anything, the only thing it will damage is the foot. So that's probably a good position for that. And then we want it to, we want one pointing down and one pointing sideways. Let's see, one pointing this way, that's like that. And we want one pointing upwards. And this is where we're going to be very glad we've got a welding ship, because there will be so many trips to the cargo container to be able to pick all that stuff up. Let's check. So we've got backwards, forwards, up, down and both sideways. Right, that's enough thrust to be able to move this little mini platform. And what I'll do next is we need something for the connector to fit to, so let's put, that's a gyroscope, I think. Let's put the our small reactor, we'll stick it in the corner. It looks like the corner now, but it's not. It'll probably end up being the middle of the ship, if not further over than the middle of the ship. The ship's going to be quite large. A connector, and we'll need, what do we need? Interior plates. Okay. There's some. We'll stick that in there. Flight seat we will want facing that way, and then the last thing we need to make it a viable ship is a gyroscope. And of all of these components, the only thing that will end up remaining where it is at the moment is actually the connector, which is why I've put that in place straight away. Now I'm wondering whether, I think it's going to make my life easier, it's going to make this build easier if I use a conveyor block. Let's add a conveyor in. I'll move the reactor forwards. So we're going to need a conveyor. And I'll put, oh, we can put the connector straight on the end of that. And our small reactor, we can have that. We can put it right here. Okay, right, let's go get the welder. Connector unlock. Thrusters on. Where's the welder? There it is. That should be a named group. welder on. Where are we heading? We're heading that way. Okay. There we go. Let's edge closer, there we are. Oh, and I tell you what we want to do is we want to build the thrusters before we build the power.
Meteor storm inbound.
It might be easier to do this from the other side of the ship. The main advantage to having a little welding ship like this is the inventory that it can carry. It does weld faster than welding by hand, but yeah, you don't have to run backwards and forwards all the time. Probably run out of components there. Probably thruster components. Let's just drop down and see if we can add anything to this bottom one. Okay, so we've got everything we need to weld up the independently flying platform there. Right, we'll unlock, thrusters on, welder on. And we'll head down and finish this. There we go. One more. And we'll back up carefully. That now is 6 thrusters, each pointing in a different direction, so that gives us control in every direction. Ah. Camera angle's not helping. There we go. I just want to go up and then drop down. There we are. And one last thing is the connector. And then I'm going to move the good just out of the way a little. Here will do. Switch off all the dangerous things, make it safe. Until I got into the habit of doing that, I can't tell you how many times I ejected from the cockpit and landed on the welder or a thruster and died instantly. Right, what I'm looking for here, I'm just going to take a little bit of the uranium out of here. We'll say 2. Just enough. To power our independently flying platform. This looks like it might not be complete. No, it's not. We need 1 reactor component. We'll have that. We have 100 reactor components. Did I not? Oh, they mustn't have been made. Was it just 1? Oh, it was 100. There we go. Everything else made? I'll check these thrusters actually before, while I can still get close to them safely. Oh, we can do it from the cockpit. Right, let's give this power. And let's go take a seat.